What's going on, everybody? It's Manny Reads Comics here, where I take the comics from my pull list and I recap them, I review them, uh, pretty much say anything that I liked or didn't like, and hopefully that helps you decide if you want the book or not, or if you just couldn't catch the book this week, you at least get something out of it. Today I have Scott's Shelf here. How's it going, man?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about Seven Secrets here because
Yes,
this is an amazing issue. Tom Taylor, I feel bad for him because he has so many projects and
he does.
he's doing amazing in every single one. Like
Yeah, fantastic.
it's impossible how he does that. But and then also the art by man, I feel like I'm gonna butcher the name, but I'm pretty sure it's
Daniel Di Nicuolo.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel Dinico.
Yeah.
See, I messed it up. And then we got the colors by Walter Baymont,
I think so. Yeah,
Baymont,
Damon. Yeah,
Baymont. Okay, yeah. I mean, I should have probably done some more research there, but no,
that's okay.
this is the 10th issue. It's a really good issue. In the last one, we got Eva was chosen to be the new first keeper of
Yes,
this group, the keepers and the holders, and and we got a really good issue with is it Amon or Amon?
I call him Amon. Yeah,
I did the same thing. Amon is he just took over the Seekers organization. So like the last issue was more of like the new uh,
yeah,
who's who for both groups, right?
yeah.
Uh,
We kind of see this big, shift in dynamic on how
mm,
both of these groups are going to be led,
yeah,
and it's really interesting. Even though we've only been, with this universe for less than a year, but we've now seen this massive shift, and you're thinking, well, how are the personalities of these people going to impact the groups as a whole? You know what I mean?
right. And it kind of shows you like both sides. Even though I'm still I'm still iffy on Amon being a bad guy. I feel like his tactics are bad, but
Yeah,
his goal, his end goal is not bad, right? But we get the keepers and the holders, and they are what are they doing? They are having like a democratic, like, all right, let's have a vote on it. Who wants to be the the leader and stuff? Whereas Amon is like, I'm the leader now. We're gonna kill this guy just because he pissed me off, and
yeah,
this is how we're gonna do things, right?
yeah,
Like, and it's just like such a different dynamic on both ends, right? But this issue, it starts off with Eva and Sigurd. I forgot about Sigurd. Uh,
oh man,
Sigurd
yeah,
showing his face, and I had so many different theories on what that was going to be. Like I thought that maybe that is the secret. It just shows you your most loved being or
yeah,
something. I saw some theories that it was like a twin brother. I don't know. It was like there was a couple things. I didn't think it was gonna be
yeah,
him. I'm still not 100%
yeah.
convinced that
Well,
it is him.
he does kind of allude to that, doesn't he? It's kind of like I can't remember what he says, but you kind of get that vibe that it's not him. Like it's
Right.
not the original him. It's like I don't know, like a clone or um, a time traveling type thing, something like that.
Something
It's
like
it's
that. Yeah.
it's him, but not him, the original him. Yeah,
And I get that sense because even on the last issue where he says like, "All right, don't freak out," like don't.
yeah,
I guess that is something you would say to a loved one, but I also feel like, I mean, me personally, I would just reveal it just to see the reaction, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a jerk. Who knows? No, but yeah, no. And then something about the way that they just talked, like he just revealed a bunch of other secrets on top of his secret that he's holding.
yeah,
He just revealed like basically the whole organization's secrets to her, and
yeah,
it caused Eva to break down basically.
yeah,
And we haven't seen her really that weak of a moment, and we still really don't. We see her break down. She takes a breath and she says, "All right, it's time to move forward," and
yeah.
that's an
I mean,
amazing.
you see her as such a strong person in
Mhm.
this whole series, and you kind of get the impression that nothing can break her, nothing can phase her, and
Mhm.
it's and then whatever Sigurd has told her, you're like, wow,
Yeah,
that must have been so much for her to take in, but
right.
it's broken her down, and it must be a big thing to break her down.
And do you think so? Caspar is in the other, like he's out there with them. Not they don't
Yeah,
know that he's out there. He's kind of eavesdropping. But do you think he actually
yeah,
heard everything?
no,
I don't know. Yeah, especially
Uh,
because he didn't show signs that he knew that was his dad either when he passed him.
exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
just it was weird, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's why they went outside to talk so Caspar wouldn't see him, which is
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Um, how do you feel? I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the fact that when Caspar went to go talk to Eva and she kind of just like wiped the tears away and was like time to move forward, and she said, "You are my number one priority, like not the organization, not the seekers and the whole
Yeah.
and all that, but Caspar being the number one priority."
Yeah. It's like Sigurd has said, like whatever he has told her,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of changed her whole dynamic of thinking about this whole thing. And maybe Caspar is some sort of key to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, is the briefcase, mega important? But is it only important because he is holding it?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a point later on in the book where they've taken the prime minister to torture him,
Right.
but she keeps Caspar out
Yeah.
because like she doesn't want his innocence,
Broken or
muddied
taken
and
away. Yeah.
broken. Yeah. Um, yeah, there's definitely a lot more to think about than just what you see,
Yeah. I'm glad.
on the face of the book.
I'm glad you caught that because I caught the same thing, but it was just very sly. Like it's almost like it's just a mother trying to protect their son, but also in the very same sense, she's not just a mother; she's the first keeper. So
Yeah, she's the leader.
yeah,
Yeah,
her actions have a whole other impact on anything on the world. So
yeah,
yeah, definitely something's weird there. Um, at this point, Kanto, I have it written down as mask guy because I couldn't remember his name, but
yeah,
Kanto, he wants to retrieve the first secret, which answered my question that I have with other friends as well. Is what happens to that first secret when it
yeah.
gets
I
revealed?
never see. This is something I never thought about. I just thought, okay, they've opened it and that's that. But yeah, like I didn't click at all. And then when he was talking about it, I was like,
Oh,
oh yeah, like
yeah.
it's got to be somewhere. Yeah, but like, what is it? Like, is it a tangible, solid thing? Like, I don't know what's gonna
So
happen.
my theory is when it, and I'm pretty sure I'm overthinking it, but like when you open it, it just destroys whatever. It just somehow knows it's a magical thing, but it just knows the borders of whatever country
Yeah,
it's in, and it destroys that border, and that's
yeah,
it. Like no more, no farther than that border or anything. And then I thought that it was gonna be like it automatically closes, and then maybe transports to a fixed location, but
yeah,
but
yeah.
apparently not. Apparently it stays there. Most
Just
likely
just
closes,
stays.
but yeah.
Yeah,
So so Kanto wants to retrieve that, and so Eva's like, yeah, that's fine. You're gonna take Titus with you, and he
yes.
immediately was like, no, I do not want Titus.
That guy.
It, yeah, exactly. And I kind of feel bad for him
Yeah,
because he was introduced as a bully, and he kind of got
yeah,
better, but not really. He is still kind of a bully, but now like he's kind of getting like a bad rep, and I kind of really do
yeah,
feel bad for him. But um, he chooses Fel over Titus, and then he says he wants to take Dinah and Laketa with him,
yeah,
and this makes me. He says, "I want to take both of them because as much as we don't want to think about this, there is a traitor among us, and he
yeah,
suspects Dinah or Laketa,
yeah,
and that made me suspect him. Like as soon as he said that, I was
yeah.
like, it looks to me like you're trying to point the finger at somebody else but yourself. Like, like it's just
Yeah.
a little weird how
Like,
he said that.
why is he wearing the mask? Who's under the mask?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
um, but I think in a few issues we're gonna find out.
Yeah. No.
I think,
And
yeah,
because so then Eva divides the group up, and that's the plan that they can't be all together at one time. That's too dangerous.
yeah,
When she does this, I immediately recant exactly what I just said, and I was like, oh, now I think that Kanto is gonna die. I think that it was foreshadowed here that he's gonna pass away. Um,
well, yeah, because you get that, the bit where they're all
that's right.
saying goodbye, and Caspar and
Hugs him.
Kanto are hugging, and then there's a little like narration box, which sounds like it's from the future.
Right.
The way it's
It's
talking, and
Caspar.
it's like, and
Right.
we've said some final goodbyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
as far as I can tell, like I remember from the very first issue, Caspar said like, uh, this is me talking, and don't think just because I'm narrating and that I'm part of the future that I actually survived this. So like to me, Caspar is gonna
Yeah.
die at some point, right?
Yeah.
Um, but then Caspar and Eva head over to Buckingham Palace, right? And they go with Titus. Unfortunately, they got stuck with Titus, uh,
Yeah.
but they easily slip in and they get past all the guards. And but they're stopped by the Queen of England herself, which we see here in the cover. Um, what's her name? Jeddah.
Yes.
Jeddah. Okay, and she has a pretty good resume. Tajana, the last first keeper, is one. She said she's one of 5 people in the entire world that you can trust 100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty good. And she then shows Eva basically like a picture of the prime minister meeting with Amon. Um, and Eva says, you know what, I want to attack the Seekers. That's my plan. Like she wants to take
Yeah.
the fight to the Seekers. And this is news to Caspar. You can see him in the background. He's just like, what? Like, what?
What?
That's,
Yeah.
that's a whole another thing. Um, so she wants to, so part of this plan is to kidnap the prime minister. And the only stipulations that Jeddah says is that you have to let me in on the fun. She wants
Yeah.
to kidnap him
One
as well.
condition. Yeah.
One, exactly. So then it just automatically skips to them kidnapping the prime minister. They don't
Yeah.
talk about any plans or anything. They just automatically
No.
go in to do it. And I think this was a risky move for a comedic effect, but the Queen of England like reveals herself to a bodyguard. She's like, "Do you serve your queen or whatever?" He's like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
She's like, "Then shut up."
Yeah. Stand down. Yeah.
And
Back off.
and
Yeah.
it was funny, but I just feel like, I don't know if that was smart. That guy could be anybody, or he could talk to anybody and say something.
Yeah. I mean, he could be working with Amon.
Yeah. And then also Titus does the same thing. Someone was like, "Who are you guys?" And he goes, "My name's Titus." And I'm like, "Why are you
Yeah.
saying your name? Why
I know.
why are you
Yeah.
showing your face?" And then he says, like, yells out, "Caspar, drive." And I'm like, "Stop saying names."
Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
you doing that?
That's something I never picked up. That's a really good point. Like like who was listening, who was watching.
Yeah.
Will there be any ramifications just from those few panels there? Will
Yeah.
something
I'm pretty
bigger
sure
happen?
nothing will happen. Like it's just me being paranoid. It's just comedic effect, and that's it.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
my mind's always just rolling on those things. Like, what do you need to watch out, man?
Yeah,
But the prime minister, they get him in the car, and he immediately is like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. He sees the queen, and she starts saying like, "Remove all his trackers." She throws her phone, and he's like, "I don't have any trackers on me." So either he's lying or he just didn't know that they put trackers
Yeah.
on him. Um, but then she uses that big scepter, which is called up in the cover where it says "Keep calm" and carry a big scepter. So she
Yeah.
knocks him out. She's pretty cool. I like her so far.
She is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like her as well. Yeah.
No, so then they go interrogate the prime minister, like you were saying, and again, like you said earlier, Eva says, "Caspar, I don't want you in here." She doesn't want to break this innocence, and I wrote down in my notes here like what was she protecting? Caspar speaks as if it's like an actual thing and not just his innocence that he's protecting. It like the way
Yeah.
Caspar is narrating it, it's just like there's an actual physical thing that she's trying to protect, and
Yeah.
but we don't know. That's all speculation at this point. Yeah.
This whole story is just speculation, isn't it? Like this whole book is built on mystery and like what is inside these briefcases.
Yeah.
What kind of motivations these people have. It's like nothing is clear. Nothing is like out in the open. Everyone's got an agenda and something, like a goal and something to strive for. And it's just, I think that's one of the most endearing
And
things
nothing is
of the book.
and it's not clear. Like Kanto, I keep going back and forth. He's a good guy. No, he's definitely a bad guy. Oh no,
Yeah.
wait, no, he's definitely one of the good ones, and he's gonna betray him. Like I don't know. I can't
I
tell.
know, yeah.
No. But the last part is they arrive at, or Kanto's group arrives at Switzerland, and the traitor is alluded to. Like they say, someone here sees or gets their hands on the first secret, the most powerful secret, and they're the traitor. So the people that are there is Kanto, Fel, Dion or Dion, Dinah, and Laketa. So, and that's it. That's how it ends. It's just like a showing all of them at one in one panel and says the person that's the traitor gets their hands on the first secret, and that's how
Yeah.
it ends. So, with that ending, I would
You
say,
know,
go ahead.
I think I think they may be playing with us. Like, if they say, the person who gets the first secret is the traitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's showing us these five people, but you got to like there are other people that know about these things. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it could
That's
be
true. That's
someone that
true.
isn't one of those five. And this is the whole thing. Like
There's like,
this story is just literally like twists and turns and like just massive, like, oh my god, like I didn't expect this and that kind of thing, and I'm just expecting more of that, and I don't think it is any of those five, but I'm happy to be proven wrong.
see, I go straight into like, well, that's what the writer told me, so it has to be true, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
No, you got a good point right there, because it doesn't actually say one of these people. It just says this is when the traitor
yeah,
gets their hand on the first secret. All right, yeah.
yeah,
So after reading all that, I will say that I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Even though I enjoyed it, I had a
yeah.
good time with it. It does move the pace forward, and it has you questioning, what's going to happen, and you want more. But like nothing actually happens in this book. You get some comedy in there too, so that's why it's 7.5. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't.
Mm.
I wouldn't say it's as good as like maybe the last issue or the issue before that. What about you? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna join you on that on 7.5. Like I totally agree. It's like it's not a filler. It's like
Uh-huh.
a filler plus. You know what I
Yes,
mean? It's like
exactly.
it has it has a few things here and there that will be
Important.
are setting things up in the
Yeah.
future. But then there are some other things in the story that you're like, what is this? Like this doesn't seem important. Maybe it doesn't seem important yet. But yeah, it wasn't entirely impactful like previous issues, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't mind blowing, but it was just it was just a bit of fun. Some stuff was being set up, and you're learning a bit more about the characters and things like that. Yeah, so yeah, I think
Seven
seven
point
point five
five.
is right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that 7.5 to me, it's like it's not bad whatsoever. I had a good time
Oh,
reading it. It's just there's better stories. There were better stories before. Like for me, the positives were like Eva, the way she portrays herself as a leader, that was
yeah,
amazing. Jeddah in general, I love her. Uh, the mystery of the traitor is a positive for me. Like just the fact that there's something I need to know what it is.
yeah.
And honestly, the only negatives I had is that Sigurd didn't really reveal much. We didn't know anything about him. Like he just,
No,
I have a
yeah,
secret, and then it cuts off to the
yeah.
end of the
Well,
talking.
that's the thing. He did reveal much, but we just never saw it.
Yeah, exactly,
That's the issue.
exactly.
Like, is there a tie-in issue I can read somewhere? Like, is there something
Like a
secret? Is there a
Sigurd
secret
point of
issue?
view. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other negative I had with it is just there's too many damn names. I can't keep up. I
Ah,
don't know who's who. I have to write down like a
I'm
map or
still
something.
struggling.
But uh, the last thing that I really have to talk to you about is talking about the foreshadowing of who's going to be the traitor. Do you have a preference on who you want to be the traitor or
Who
who
do I
you don't
want to
want?
be the traitor?
Yeah, because like
Like, I, I don't want it to be Canto.
yeah,
Like, I think one, that's too obvious, and two, I do have a bit of a soft spot for him.
hmm,
So yeah, I
I'm right there with you.
but it has to be someone that is gonna shock me.
I'm right there with you. I think I don't want it to be Kanto, just because, like you said, it was already foreshadowed, so it's too obvious. I don't want
Yeah,
it to be Laketa or Dinah, because they both helped with Casper's growing up. They taught him how to
yeah, yeah,
fight. The whole sign language stuff, I thought that was very interesting. So,
yeah.
but she did, like Kanto said, she did jump at the chance to be the first keeper. She really wanted it, right? So there's that. Um, but I think it might be Dion or Fell, because Fell,
Right.
if
Which ones are those
that's
now?
exactly what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure Fell is the female, and she's the one when they were training to become a holder. she gave up because they were hurting her teammates.
She was in the trials.
Yeah, and she was like, no, if you're gonna be hurting my teammates, then I'd rather not have this holder. Here's the secret.
Yeah.
So I think seeing that makes it to where like I won't suspect her, so it makes me suspect her. Right?
Yes.
No, like I want to see. I'm pretty sure it's Phil, but Dion, we haven't really heard much of him other than the trials. He was just a good contender. So he's just quiet. So if it goes with the most obvious, it'd be Dion, right? We haven't seen much of him, but we haven't had anything to not suspect of him as well.
Yeah.
So that's just me. That's just me overthinking it.
Well, this is what this book does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes people think, and that's one of the best things about it. It's a thinker.
Right. That's pretty much it. That's all I got for you. I appreciate you coming on. Real quick before you get off, though, you do have a group, the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's 4 of us in the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. Every week we will read a trade, so like a 6-issue or maybe like a 12-issue run, something. But it'll always be a story. It won't be just be one issue. But so every week we get together live Wednesdays at 9:30 GMT. So I think depending on where you are in America, it's between like 1 and 4:30 in the afternoon. But yeah, it's so much fun, and it's like, we tell all the viewers what we're going to be reading the next week. And some people, they go out and buy these books and they read along with us. Yeah. And like, they give us their own scores. So, at the end of the episode, when we do our scores, we also ask for the audience scores, and we see like how much, if the 4 of our scores on average were close to theirs on average, and sometimes they're spot on, sometimes they're like this, something like that. So it's really fun. So it's really fun.
Any big fights? Any big fights in between the outtakes?
Well, it's all live. There aren't any outtakes. It's all live, and it's like there are some disagreements sometimes. It's usually 2v2 sometimes. And it's like, right, so like me and Shane, we will love this book, and then Phil and Dean, they will hate it. And like it has happened before, and I'm sure it will happen again. We have bickered and slightly argued about like why they're wrong and why we're wrong.
Your opinion is wrong, and this is why.
Yeah, but it's so fun, and they're brilliant guys, and I love them loads. And yeah, it's if anyone have you seen it before? Have you joined us before?
I haven't joined you live, but I did find you guys on Spotify, so I've listened to a couple of that here and there. So
awesome,
yeah,
great man. Yeah, that needs to be mentioned too. We're on all the podcasts.
Yeah.
The Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. It's just a really fun group of guys, and every 5 weeks we do a viewer's choice.
Okay.
So everyone who's viewing on the 4th week, they can put their suggestions in. We'll do a big spinning wheel, and whoever it lands on, we will then read their choice, and then we'll invite them on to join us for that show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then they also get a prize as well. They just get like a random book or 2, maybe more, and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's all just a really fun, just community kind of vibe as well. Yeah.
See, like kind of like what we're doing right now. I really just love talking comics with people and listening to people talk comics, because I have my friends here. They don't like comics. they like the movies or whatever sometimes, but there's no deeper conversation after that. Like they'll ask me like a question about something. I was like, well, to answer that, I have to reference this storyline, and to answer that, I need to kind of actually reference it back to here, and it's just tough. So talking to people that know more about comics than you do, it's always fun. It's always a great time.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, and that live, is it on YouTube or where is it live?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, the live is on YouTube on the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. And yeah.
Follow the Instagram as well.
Yeah, follow the Instagram as well. It's I think after every show, Dean will put up like 3 little clips from each show that we do, and they're always quite funny. And then at the end of each month, he'll kind of do like a highlights reel of like stuff that like each book that we've done in the month and like what we've said and stuff. It's really cool. Like the way he does it is fantastic. The way he organizes everything is brilliant. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will say thank you for coming on. You're always welcome back. If your other friends want to come in and let us know what they think.
would you mind if I plug my own stuff? Is that okay?
No, we're actually out of time. I'm so sorry. No,
Ah,
no, no,
man.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, so I'm Scott Shelf. These are the shelves. I mostly do a lot of monthly stuff. So I get every month my partner, my girlfriend, she will judge my pull list by their covers. So
Oh,
even
nice.
though they may be fantastic stories, she might not want to read them because she doesn't like the cover. And so that's it's quite fun. It's quite interesting because she hasn't read these stories, but she's like, I don't like that
Did
because
she?
that looks weird, or I do love that because of this, and it may actually be a really bad story, but she loves the cover, and it may be a great story, and she doesn't like the cover. So comics is an area where people actually do judge the books by
Yes,
their covers.
absolutely. I definitely
Um,
do.
yeah, and I also do a monthly charity auction. People donate comic books to me, and we do a big spinning wheel. We choose a charity for the month, and we'll do a big thing, and we'll raise between 100 and 200 pounds every month for
Wow.
whatever charity that people have chosen. And then I think my project, my baby, is my favorite show, obviously, and it's called Comic Airwaves. Um, it's a so a bit of backstory. I used to be a radio presenter.
Okay.
I used to be a voiceover artist, and I used to really enjoy doing that, and I miss it. So I wanted to kind of bring the radio back into my channel. So I
Right.
kind of so Comic Airwaves is a radio styled, well, it's a video styled radio show based
Okay.
on comic books, and it's really fun. We have features, we have live call-ins, we have games,
Okay.
and
That's cool.
it's just we have a section called Ask Auntie Phil, where it's like it's me and my friend Phil, and he's like an advice column. We play a game as well called Whose Knees Are These? And I'll just show you pictures of comic characters' knees, and you've got to guess them.
Oh my
We
God.
have a book of the month, and we have news and weather, where the weather section is like what books are hot and what books are cold,
Hmm.
and it's just
Nice.
it's just a load of fun, and everyone who people join in, and people are asking for these mugs, and I've sent out loads of these mugs, and it's kind of getting this little mug club going, and it's really fun. So that's Comic Airwaves. The next live show is on the 31st of this month, of 31st of July, 8:30 p.m. GMT.
Awesome, man. That sounds really creative. I wanted to ask you about your girlfriend. You said that she rates covers. What did she think about this one? The Seven
Uh,
Secrets.
she hasn't seen it because I don't have it yet.
Oh
So I
no.
was so yeah. So it was supposed to come out last week,
Uh-huh.
but there was a diamond distribution issue,
As
and I
always.
still I still haven't had it. So I read it today online. Like
Okay.
that's
All right.
that's
I'm
how I
I'm glad you
yeah
could at least read it though.
yeah I definitely read it, yeah. But
Okay.
so yeah, I was hoping it would arrive in time, but unfortunately it didn't. So she will see that next month. Now she'll see that cover next
Okay.
month. She'll probably see issue 11 at the same time as well.
You'll have to let me know what she thinks, because
I will watch
yeah.
the video, man. You'll find out.
Exactly. All right. I will definitely. All right. Well, with that, I just want to say, everybody, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. See you later.
Thanks so much. See ya.